Hello, it's Michael Owen. Well, it's not, but the last time I narrated one of these videos, you all said I sounded like him in the comments below, but don't hold that against me. I'd never signed for Manchester United, and I'd certainly never signed for Chelsea. Now, Liverpool and Chelsea may be 220 miles and culturally worlds apart, but they are very much rivals nowadays. It's not always been this way. While Liverpool were picking up cups in the late 70s and 80s, including winning the league at Stamford Bridge on the final day of the 1985-86 season, Chelsea were flitting between the old first and second divisions. Chelsea's fortunes began to turn in the late 90s when they won trophies at home and abroad under Ruud and Gianluca Vialli, but it wasn't until the arrival of two men who would change the face of English football that the story of this very modern rivalry started, and Liverpool, in many ways, were the instigators of it. It's May 11th, 2003, and the sides are about to go head-to-head at Stamford Bridge on the final day of the Premier League season. The stakes could not be higher. The winners of a match billed as the £20 million game will claim the final Champions League spot, and unfortunately for Liverpool, it was Chelsea who claimed it after they came from behind to win 2-1. 6 weeks later, and enticed by the prospects of Champions League football, Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich bought a debt-ridden Chelsea for £140 million. Nothing would be the same again. Chelsea spent an unprecedented £103 million on new signings during Abramovich's first summer in charge. That helped Claudio Ranieri's side finish second in the Premier League, behind Arsenal's Invincibles, and reach the semi-finals of the Champions League. But that wasn't enough for Abramovich. Enter the self-proclaimed special one, Jose Mourinho. Now, around this time, Mourinho was fairly well liked by Liverpool fans after he raced down the touchline at Old Trafford as his Porto side knocked out Manchester United on their way to winning the 2004 Champions League. And prior to his appointment at Chelsea, Mourinho's agent had even been in touch with Liverpool about his client taking over at Anfield. But Liverpool chose to wait until the end of the season to review and eventually replace Gerard Houllier. And by that time, Mourinho was already on his way to Chelsea. Instead, Liverpool pulled off a managerial masterstroke of their own by appointing Rafael Benitez, and what followed next will define the era. In their first seasons in charge, Benitez and Mourinho faced off 5 times. Chelsea won the 2 league matches between the teams, as well as the League Cup final at the Millennium Stadium that saw Mourinho shushing the Liverpool fans in the stands. But he could do nothing to silence the Anfield crowd when the teams met in the semi-finals of that season's Champions League. On one of the truly great European nights at the ground, Liverpool won the second leg 1-0 thanks to Luis Garcia's ghost goal. And we all know what happened next, as Benitez's side pulled off the miracle of Istanbul to claim the club's 5th European Cup. Rafa and Liverpool had had the last laugh, but that did not stop Mourinho from trying to prize away Liverpool's captain Steven Gerrard that summer. Chelsea's failed bid served only to ramp up the animosity, and incredibly, the clubs played each other 10 more times across the following 2 seasons, with Liverpool winning an FA Cup semi-final at Old Trafford in April 2006, which ended with Mourinho refusing to shake Benitez's hand, and most famously, another Champions League semi-final in May 2007. Soon after, Mourinho departed from Stamford Bridge for the first time, but there was no end to the rivalry, and it was stoked further by 2 further Champions League knockout ties between the sides, and when Fernando Torres, unlike Gerrard, chose to swap Anfield for Stamford Bridge in January 2011. Torres flopped, while his replacement, Luis Suarez, thrived. But unlike Torres, the same could not be said of Benitez, who after leaving Liverpool, surprisingly took charge at Stamford Bridge for a short spell in the 2012-13 season, which saw him lead Chelsea to Europa League glory despite hostility from supporters. Benitez left the club that summer to be replaced by, you guessed it, Jose Mourinho. Mourinho would go on to win a 3rd Premier League title with Chelsea, but only after he played his part in denying Liverpool their first. The wait for that goes on, but under Jurgen Klopp, it feels like Liverpool will never have a better chance of being crowned champions of England for the 19th time. They've already conquered Europe, and they picked up their second piece of silverware under Klopp in August 2019, when they beat Chelsea in the UEFA Super Cup final in Istanbul. But the league title remains the Holy Grail, and victory in Sunday's latest instalment of this very modern rivalry would maintain Liverpool's perfect start to the Premier League season, and no doubt it would be celebrated particularly loudly by the away end at Stamford Bridge.